Kristen Farrell. I'm a substitute at Sunderland Public Library, and this is my daughter, Abby. And we're going to show you how to make the Collage Cube project. This is our little model that we made. It's smaller than your cube will turn out because we enlarged the template for you.
And it might be a little squished because we accidentally stepped on it.
Yeah, but it also bounced back a little bit, so that shows that it's pretty strong, huh? Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is, if you look in your kit that you picked up at the library, you should see a template that looks like this that we're going to decorate and cut out. And then there should be the instructions for making your project. So you can create it by following the written instructions or by following this video, or both. And there should also be a glue stick in your bag and a couple of magazines to get you started. We didn't have a whole lot of variety, especially of kid-focused magazines when we made the kits. So if you want to pause the video and take some time to go around your house and gather some other materials, whatever's going to make it more fun for you. So other magazines, junk mail, pictures, pages from a coloring book, yeah, anything that you don't mind cutting up. And kids, if you're the ones doing this project without a grown-up around, I would suggest you ask your mom or dad or grown-up that's taking care of you if it's okay to cut some stuff up, because it might look like it is, but the grown-ups might not want you to. So, okay, so once you gather that, I should also mention Abby's got some crayons here. You don't have to have art supplies, but if you'd like to add some color to the background of your pictures, or even just a color on one of the sides of the cube, you can start out by coloring with colored pencils, crayons, markers, paint if you want. You probably want to let the paint dry before you start gluing, because it might get
everywhere,
messy and not stick as well. Or you could just add some decorations with the markers and crayons as you go. So I also recommend, because we're using glue, that you cover up your work surface just so the glue from the glue stick doesn't get all over your table.
Or use something that you usually use for messy art projects.
Exactly. So we don't have any newspaper right now, so I'm just putting down a few pieces of blank scrap paper that we can use and recycle or throw away when we're finished with it. Okay, so now that we have, and we need scissors. We have some safety scissors for the kiddo, and I've got some scissors too. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut out our template. You can decorate it while it's still like this if you want, but I think it'll probably be easier to cut it out first. And the reason for that is, if you put your collage on your squares and cover up the edges a little bit, it might be hard to tell where you need to cut afterwards.
Yeah.
So the first thing here, you can take that one.
Ooh.
And I'm going to take this one. All right, let's chill a little. So when you cut, what you're going to do is you're not going to cut out each square. You want it to all be one big piece. So you're going to cut around the edges. So you have what kind of looks like a big T at the end.
Yeah.
So you're doing that too. Yeah, and around the little tabs. And I found this template by doing a search online. There's a website at the bottom. It says find more templates at Mommy Nature.
Mommy!
You could try looking that up if you want to find others.
Your name is Mommy Nature?
Or you could also just do a search for cube templates, or you could probably find other shapes too.
This paper is sort of thick.
Yes, it's thick so that it's easier to glue and stuff will stick to it better.
Oh, but it's not But it's thicker than this paper.
Yes, this one that we practiced with, it was just regular printer paper for the computer.
This one is tough.
Oh, also what I like to do when I'm doing collage is sometimes I'll put a little paper bag or some sort of bowl that you can put your little paper scraps in as you go. Or if you don't mind getting a little messy, you can just let the scraps fall on the floor and clean it up after.
Yeah. That's better to keep things cleaner.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
That's why I want to keep my room clean right now.
Oh, okay.
And fancy it up.
Oh, that's nice to hear. All right. Now that we have our template cut out, it should look like this, kind of like a little T or a line with arms.
Now that we came back.
And there will be six squares that you're going to get to decorate. So one of the things that I wrote in the instructions is, it doesn't really matter, but if it's important to you, I mean, it's not essential, but if it's important to you when your cube is put together, where's the little sample? If it's important to you when it's all done to have each of your side pieces facing your art facing up and down so that when you put it down on a table, your sides are all facing the same way. You can look at the diagram that I included in your bag. See how there's arrows? So if you want all of your art on the sides to face the same way, turn your template like this so that when you do your artwork, everything is facing the same way on these center squares. Then when we fold it up, when we're done, they'll all be facing the same way. All right, and now we're ready to do our art. So what I like to do is, if you're going to do any background designs, now might be a good time to do it. So I'm gonna move the camera so you can see what we're doing on the table. Can we see the table? Yep, so just take each of your squares and I'm gonna make a spiral on this one. And maybe do half of this one this color. And then the other half blue.
That's magenta.
Magenta, okay. So again, this step is optional. You don't have to decorate the squares before you start cutting if you don't want to.
Pink and blue.
Okay, so the next thing is to think about what you want to cut out and put on your squares. So you might want to think about it ahead of time, like come up with a theme. For example, I want to look for different colors of green. And as I'm looking through my magazines and pictures, I'll try to find all different shades of green or shapes that are different kinds of green. And I'm gonna cut just those out and make my whole cube a green cube. Or maybe you might want to think about animals. I'm gonna go through my pictures and cut out pictures of animals or plants.
Ooh, I like horses.
Let's talk a little bit less, okay? Because I don't want it to be hard to hear me.
Okay.
I also gave a list of ideas in the kit on the back page of different themes that you could choose. So for example, your favorite books or movies or things you'd like to read or watch next. That's kind of a nice library themed cube. You could cut out pictures from the book page magazine that you can find at the library.
Yeah.
There's also an example that I gave that you can use for reflection to think about things that happened in 2020 and looking ahead to 2021. I know we all had a very strange and difficult year last year, and we're looking ahead to a better one this year. So one idea that you could do for your cube is to choose different things to think about as you're making your collage on each side. So for example, one side could be these pictures and colors or words represent things that were hard in 2020. And this side is things that were really great, wonderful. For example, maybe you got a new pet, maybe you got a new dog joined your family, or a new baby, or
like last year, my friend's sister got a new puppy.
exactly. Or maybe you got an amazing new job, or finally published your book, or so there's all kinds of things that you can do to really make your cube your own. Or you don't have to think about it ahead of time at all. You can just start looking through your magazines and pictures and see what pops out at you. Oh, I really love that. Oh, that looks great. Oh, I've always wanted to go skydiving. I'm going to cut out that picture of a skydiver.
No, I don't want to skydive.
So there doesn't have to be a theme, but you can if you'd like. So do you want to find the magazine and start looking through it? Maybe. Make some images, cut out some images?
Well, I sort of want mine to be all drawing.
All drawing, you can do that too.
Okay.
So I'm just going to give an example of the actual gluing part, which isn't that, difficult. And most of you have probably done it before, but just
probably a lot of people have done gluing.
So I'm going to cut out just this beautiful little flower image.
Ooh.
And then I'm going to spread glue on the back of the piece of paper. And I'm just going to put it on one of my squares like this. And then you can overlap things. So you could put pictures where the edges go across the edges of other pictures, or that might be the only one you want on that square. One thing to keep in mind is that if pictures that you glue on cross over a line or go over an edge, once it's folded up, that paper is going to stick off the end, which is okay, because at the end you could just cut that extra off, or you could add some glue and fold it over. So it's not a big deal, but just something to keep in mind.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay, so this would be a good point in the video, if you're watching this as you make your cube, to pause it and take your time. Just put on some music that you love. Ooh. Or have people around you that you love that you want to do it with, or you can just do it by yourself to have some nice quiet time. Go through your magazines, all your pictures. If there's something you can't find that you really want, like I love Spider-Man.
You could draw it.
You could draw it, or you could go onto the computer and find a picture of Spider-Man, print it out,
and cut it out and glue it.
Exactly. So have fun with it. Pause the video and make your cube, make your pictures, and then come on back when you're ready to put it together. Pause. Okay. Now you don't have to actually pause it. I just figured this would be a place that they could stop it. Okay. So now we're back. I haven't finished decorating my cube yet, but we're going to show you how to put it together when you're ready. So once you've done all your gluing and painting and coloring, you might want to let it dry for a little bit. So Abby, if you want to hold yours up, Abby decided she wanted to make flowers on each of her squares instead of doing collage, which is good too. So here we go. We have our piece of paper.
Put it down with your drawings facing down on the table.
Exactly. You're going to put it down on the table with your drawings face down. Let's just make sure that we can see it. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you're going to fold up each of the squares. So you're going to take this little flap that's like an arm on the side. Yep. And fold it upwards. And then once you fold it upwards enough, you'll either see your line, or you can just make it even with the side of the paper. So that's our first little flap. I'm going to turn this and fold up my second little flap the same way. Like that. All right, and now you're going to take the end of it that has the little cutout tab and you're going to fold that up too.
I'll fold the other one.
Yep, we're going to fold this end. So it's going to end up looking like a little meeting with 4 people talking to each other.
Hello. Oh yeah, that's what I'm going to do next.
So then you'll notice there's still one line in the middle that needs to be folded. So we need to kind of fold that and pinch it. Okay, a little less sound effects, okay? All righty, so now all of our squares have been folded up like this. And so we have our cube that's open.
Okay.
So you'll notice that there's 3 little tabs here where there's still a line that you can fold on. We're going to fold upwards so that the tabs point up as well. Did you already do that step?
Yeah. Okay. I did it ahead of time.
Right. And if it's easier for you to read written instructions and see a diagram, I've included written instructions and a picture in your kit that tells you which tab to fold when.
And which way to do it.
Yes. So now you're going to end up with your shape like this. Okay, so now you're going to take your glue stick and you can flip it back over so that your art is facing up. And you're going to put glue on the top of one of the tabs. Actually, you can put it on all 3. I have a glue stick here that shows up purple, but when it dries, it's clear.
Mine is clear, but it isn't really spreading.
Do you want to use this one?
Mine isn't spreading. Oh, this is so much better.
I think it might be easier for me to show you like this, how to put it together and hold it up.
Oh.
You have your glue on?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to close up our cube like this. And when all the pieces come together, you're going to see that the tab with the glue goes inside the cube like that. So it's hiding. See, so you can see that it's in the inside of the cube. And then here's a second tab. The part with the glue is going to go on the inside again. You can put your fingers inside and kind of pinch it. Yep, I can help you in 1 minute. Let me just finish this one. So this is going to be the most difficult part because you can't really reach inside very easily. But with your third tab, you're going to stick it inside, and then the best that you can, just kind of squeeze it together so that the glue holds. And there you have it. You've got your cube. You can, it's okay. You can let it dry a little bit, and then you can put it on your table, your desk, on a shelf. And what's really neat too is you can switch up which sides show. So one day this might be the top and it might sit like this, or you can decide, oh, I want this picture to show, and just kind of flip it around.
Yeah.
All right, so congratulations, you've made your cube. And if you'd like to make more, you can go to the website that showed on the bottom of your template to print out another one, but you may not have
A printer.
Now that I think about it, we used a copy machine and printed it on cardstock. But you can make them any size you want. Like the small one that we made as our example was just made with a regular piece of computer paper. So you can do that as well. Or you can just do a web search for cube template. And there's other ones too that you can find. All right. Thanks so much for joining us and have fun.
Bye.